Are you hurting your retirement potential without even knowing it? Creating a successful retirement can often be broken down into little habits that people create to help themselves achieve retirement success. Whether that's becoming a more disciplined saver or a better investor, or even creating habits around how they plan for retirement. But for as many good habits that people create, there are also habits that I've seen over my career of helping individuals retire that not only get in the way of creating a successful retirement, but actually end up hurting people's chances at a successful retirement altogether. And in this video, I'm going to share the 4 habits that keep ruining retirements. Hey everybody, I'm Jonathan Rankin. I'm the founder and CEO of Theorem Wealth Management. We're a firm dedicated to retirement planning. Now, achieving a successful retirement is hard, and it's important to create smart habits earlier in your career, whether that's just how much you save or how often you're saving, or even how you go about planning for your eventual retirement. All those little actions compound over time and can help you stay on track to a successful retirement. Unfortunately, there is no magic bullet to creating retirement success. I always like to equate it to getting in shape at the gym. Sure, people think that there are pills or supplements or magic diets that can help them get in shape. And at one point, there was even a company selling a gadget that you can wear around your waist, and it told you that you can get abs just by sitting on the couch while it worked out for you. Now, for anyone who's ever tried to lose weight or get in shape, there's always that moment of realization where they go, you know what? This actually is just going to come down to hard work and discipline, calories in, calories out. And the same thing can be said about retirement success. There's this thought out there that people who've achieved a certain level of financial success did so by finding an easier path than creating good, smart habits. In fact, there was a study done by Dave Ramsey's company called the National Study of Millionaires, and it showed that 74% of millennials believe that millionaires inherited their money. But in reality, only 21% received any inheritance at all, with only 16% inheriting over $100,000 and less than 3% inheriting over $1 million. In fact, the median household income of an average American millionaire family is $131,000 per year. 78% of millionaires start out in poor or middle class, and it was hard work, discipline, and good habits that got them to where they were. Now, part of creating good habits is also about avoiding toxic ones that can set you back, and that brings me to the 4 habits that keep ruining retirements. The first habit, becoming too focused on your portfolio value. Now, many people become obsessed by checking their portfolio value every single day, and they lose sight of their long-term savings goal. This can lead to feelings of anxiety and stress, and can also lead to impulsive decision-making. Now, I've talked to so many people who have this target dollar amount that they are trying to hit, whether that's $1 million or $2 million or whatever this number is, and it's usually just an arbitrary number that has no context in their overall retirement picture. Now, to avoid this habit, it's important to remember that your portfolio value is just one aspect of your overall retirement plan. Instead of focusing on the value of your portfolio, focus on the steps that you need to take to achieve your retirement goals. That includes setting a budget, contributing to your retirement accounts, and diversifying your investments. Now, I know nobody likes actual budgeting, but it's important when you're thinking about your long-term retirement success as opposed to focusing on what your portfolio value is. That brings me to number 2, becoming too focused on short-term fluctuations in the market. Many people make the mistake of thinking that they can predict the market and make quick profits. However, the stock market is unpredictable, and trying to time the market is a losing strategy. It can always lead to impulsive decisions like buying and selling stocks based on short-term market fluctuations. Studies have shown that the odds of a positive return in the market over the course of a 10-day period is 59%. It's 67% when you hold for 3 months, and 75% when holding for a year. That means there's a 41% chance that you are negative after 10 days, and even a 25% chance that you are negative after a year. But the longer that you hold, the higher the probability gets. In fact, going back to 1928, there's a 100% chance that you would have had a positive rate of return over a 20-year period and a 30-year period. And I've talked to so many investors who've had their systems and think that they can see the market trends that nobody else is thinking of, and they can beat the market, or that they know how to play the market better than others. Now, this may be just anecdotal evidence that I've witnessed and experienced over the course of my career with working with retirement investors, but almost every time that I've come across someone who's told me about their system and how they can beat the market, they have, on average, had smaller portfolios than others in their peer group with similar work positions, careers, and incomes. So to avoid this habit, it's important to remember that stock markets are unpredictable, and short-term fluctuations don't necessarily reflect the long-term performance of your portfolio. Instead of trying to time the market, focus on building a diversified portfolio of investments that align with your risk tolerance and your retirement goals. Additionally, it's important to remember that investing for the long term is the key to achieving your retirement goals. Brings me to number 3, underestimating retirement expenses. And many people make the mistake of thinking that their expenses are going to decrease when they retire, when in fact they actually might go up. So to avoid this habit, it's important to have a clear idea of your retirement spending needs. That includes estimating your expenses for housing and healthcare and other living expenses. But it's also important to remember that retirement is a time that you might want to pursue traveling or hobbies that you might not have thought about before. So you have to be able to be flexible in your expenses and your spending. It's important to create a budget and track your expenses for a few months to get a better idea of how much you're actually spending. Like I said before, I know nobody likes budgeting. It's not a fun exercise to do, but it is very important to make sure that you know exactly what's coming in and what's going out, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to plan accordingly. And one other factor to consider is inflation. Now, we've seen that a lot over the past year, and it's going to be something that you're going to have to deal with as you continue throughout your retirement lifestyle. Cost of things are going to go up, and so that means that you need to estimate that in your retirement plan. And that means that you have to have enough money to not only cover your expenses today, but you also have to make sure that as those expenses get more expensive, that you have the money there that's going to cover that as well. There are going to be times in your retirement where you have unexpected expenses that come up, which is why it's important to have flexibility in your retirement lifestyle. Because there might be years where you may have to reduce your income in certain years to protect the longevity of your retirement success. And that leads me to the 4th and final bad habit that can ruin your retirement. Before I jump into that, if you found this video useful, can you do me a favor? Hit that subscribe button, because we really appreciate you supporting our channel. Number 4, underestimating the risk of longevity. Many people make the mistake of thinking that they're not going to live as long as they actually do, and that can lead to running out of money in retirement. I've heard from clients for years. We're going through the exercise of planning out their retirement, and we're talking about them in their late 80s and early 90s, and they look at me and say, "Jonathan, I don't think I'm going to be living that long." Now, if you know something about your health, that's one thing. But if it's just the thought that you can't see yourself living that long and it's based on nothing but just disbelief, that's where you might want to have an open mind about the advancements of medicine. The last thing you want to do is be 85 years old trying to put together a resume. Now, to avoid this habit, it's important to be aware of the average life expectancy and plan accordingly. That means saving more for retirement and investing in healthcare coverage. Additionally, it's important to make sure that your retirement plan is flexible enough to adapt to changes in your life. No matter what, retirement is going to come down to hard work and discipline. And while avoiding these 4 habits can help avoid any issue that could derail your retirement, remember that you need to focus on your long-term goals instead of short-term market fluctuations. Have a clear idea of your retirement spending needs and be aware of the average life expectancy and plan accordingly. If you are currently saving for retirement, you're going to want to make sure that you check out this video where I cover a big mistake that people make with their retirement accounts, and you're going to want to make sure you avoid that. I'll see you there.